10 reasons why radical self-responsibility will change your life. I'm Keeley Taverner, psychotherapist with a passion for unlocking potential. Now this video is all about how to unlock your potential. Now self-responsibility is one of the key signs, the key factors that will assist you. However, in the main, majority of people do not take full responsibility for their lives. Unconsciously or consciously, they give responsibility for their lives to other people, to organizations. And then sometimes they wake up and they're depressed, they're anxious, they don't know what's happened to their life. And often it's because we've given responsibility away for our lives to others. I make 2 videos every week designed to inspire thought and encourage you to unlock your potential. To get these videos first, do consider subscribing to my YouTube channel and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Firstly, when we take radical self-responsibility for our lives, we give our lives purpose and meaning. We are not contracting that out to other people, and therefore we feel empowered rather than people having power over us. Secondly, when we take radical self-responsibility for our lives, we are in the driving seat. We are in control of our lives, and that enables us to feel empowered rather than having the feeling that people have power over us. Thirdly, you're not a passenger, you're in control. So you're not just being dragged around where somebody else decides to take you. You take responsibility, and that gives you a sense of being empowered. When we're a passenger, we're disempowered and we are waiting for other people to make choices that may benefit us. At times it doesn't, but if we've given responsibility away, then that's the choice that we make. People will make decisions on our behalf. So we have to be mindful, have we consciously or unconsciously given away our power? Fourthly, you are in control, and being in control is incredibly good for our self-esteem. Now at times it can be baffling when you don't know how to make it, when you're not sure of the way forward, and at times that's why I do understand that we give responsibility away. At times it can be easier, but remember, only you can have your best interest at heart. Other people cannot do that for you. So when you take control of your life, yes, it means you have to make choices, and sometimes you won't want to make those choices. However, remember, when we choose to not decide, we are still making a choice either way. So why not take control in order to feel empowered and have a sense of governance over your life? The 5th reason why there's benefits from taking radical self-responsibility for your life is the glory and the failings are all yours. You are responsible, and there's no one else who is accountable. It is on your shoulders. Now, I said glory and failings. Yes, however, in my view, there is no failure. There is only feedback. So either I win or I learn is the psychology that I subscribe to, because it enables me to always learn from difficult situations in order to imbibe that new knowledge in the new directions that I take. So that's the 5th benefit of taking radical self-responsibility, is that you take the glory, and when things do not go so well, you are responsible. But that also can be empowering, because it means that you can imbibe that knowledge to do things differently the next time around. The 6th benefit of radical self-responsibility is you got no one to blame. It's on your shoulders. That may not be helpful for some people. Some people like to blame and curse everybody else. Put in that way, which means you get off the hook. Now, if you're someone who doesn't like to take responsibility for yourself, if you like to blame others, then taking full responsibility for your actions will be a challenge. However, if you want to become your greatest self, if you know there is a potential within you and you are not waiting for other people to assist you with that, then not blaming others is going to be beneficial to you because you know that all the answers lay within. The seventh benefit of radical self-responsibility is you become self-reliant. Now, becoming self-reliant is incredibly important for our self-esteem because we know that sometimes we put ourselves in certain tricky situations. And on the same hand, it also means that we have the potential to get ourselves out. When we become self-reliant, we are not dependent on other people and their desires and their whims. Remember, sometimes people will say yes and at other times they will say no. Humans are inherently selfish and we do things to serve our own ends. So when we become self-reliant, we are focusing on our own needs and not contracting out responsibility to other people. Now, in the long run, that is good for our self-esteem. It may mean that life can be a little bit more tricky. You may have more ups and downs. However, you will live an empowered life rather than someone who has to continuously adapt and shift shape when other people or other organizations change their mind. The eighth benefit of radical self-responsibility is you develop confidence. Confidence in yourself as you continuously expose yourself to different situations and opportunities that you wouldn't have done if you were dependent on not taking responsibility for your life. As you encounter new experiences and get out of your comfort zone, you grow as a human being and your comfort zone expands. So you develop new normals, and in the long run, that develops your confidence. And if you ever want to test that out, go back to being with people who you used to be with when you weren't taking radical self-responsibility for your life. Now, what you'll notice is there'll be anomalies between you. As you develop and get access to their mindset, you'll begin to see how you've shifted. The ninth benefit of radical self-responsibility is you'll start to think differently, which can be beneficial, but also means sometimes there'll be relationship casualties, as people won't necessarily like the new you that emerges. Remember, some people benefit from you being dependent upon them, and when you start to sever those ties, they will be uncomfortable and often demand that you go back to being your old self. Now, this is a potential threat to self-responsibility if we have people who leech and drain from us. If you, for example, have a mother that smothers, who doesn't let you grow up and who wants you to be a mummy's boy, for example, this radical self-responsibility is going to challenge your relationship and the dynamics will change. And sometimes we have to be careful because some people want us to remain as our old self. So that's the ninth benefit of taking self-responsibility, is you become different. You honor your own uniqueness, and the new you that emerges, whilst that may be great for you, there will be relationship casualties as people demand you go back to your old self where you were reliant on other people. The 10th benefit from radical self-responsibility is you develop an inner pride within yourself. No one can take that away from you. Sometimes our esteem is attached to relationships, people, sometimes items. But when we take radical self-responsibility for our lives, there is a pride that can develop within. And because that comes from within us, no one can take it away. Those are the 10 benefits of radical self-responsibility. I hope they may be of benefit to you. If they are, do consider sharing. I am Keeley Taverner, psychotherapist with a passion for unlocking potential. Do take care of you, because if you don't, who will?